Yes, here we are. Welcome everybody. Welcome to Inter National. First episode, we actually have a show. You could believe that? We have a guest. We had to Trini time it a little bit, but we on time. I have notes and we ready. So before we move on though, I want to give people a little background as to how we end up here. So this idea was buzzing around in my head, and I spoke to Matix a few years ago about it, and we've been back and forth, thinking about the right time and looking for the right ingredients and just talking around it for a while. And the best time to do something is right now, and the best part is the start, right? So here we are, and we're going on with this show, and hopefully it grows into something that people enjoy, that you could be a part of. We have some ideas to make it more interactive for the audience and the guests and so on, and we'll try and make it the best that we can for you, right? So the focus of the show is to have conversations and follow the paths of Trinidadians who have made it their business to be very patriotic and to represent Trinidad outside of our shores, with pride and with integrity. We have a history in this country of people making significant contributions to the world and to, in all different fields. We have scientists, politicians, activists, writers, all kinds of people, artists, singers, and we just want to highlight that group of people and have some nice conversations, and hopefully we could connect the dots as to what makes it possible, or what makes a Trini when they're outside and they're doing things. What makes them stand out? What makes them special? Is it really something to do with being from here? We kind of going to examine that. We're going to have some fun too when our guests are here. And fortunately for us, we do have a guest here live today, and we'll be speaking with him shortly. We'll be going to a little break soon. And when we come back, we'll introduce our guest. He is a good friend of mine, so we'll be having some fun, and we'll be discovering the life and the background of this individual. I think now is a good time to do that. We could go to a quick break, so we could just set him up, and we'll be back and we'll introduce him. See you soon.
Need to raise funds for your next creative project, event, or invention? Or maybe you or a family member are raising funds for much-needed medical treatment. Now, you can get started raising that much-needed cash via Donate68.com, the newest 100% homegrown crowdfunding platform in Trinidad and Tobago. Donate68.com accepts donations from all major credit cards, but not only that, for those without a credit card, you can use your everyday Visa debit card to make donations. So log on today and create a campaign for your next passion project, startup, or cause. Share your campaign with your community of family, friends, and supporters to get the financial backing you need. Donate68.com, funding your culture.
Yes, and we're back. Now, first things first, we have no staff. Right? So thank you to Donate 68 for helping us out. We'll be asking, during the course of the episode for you, the audience, if you enjoy what you're doing, if you enjoy what we're doing, and if you want to help us out and keep the lights on, as they say, just follow the link that is embedded in the YouTube page, and give me something smaller, and we'll be thankful for that. So moving on, I want to introduce somebody who's very close to me. Is a good friend of mine. Pardon the bias, and he was gracious enough to lend us his time and come out here today, because this, of all the times of the year, is, trust me, the most busy time for this man. Usually we have long conversations, but now he's like, boy, I'm busy. Text me. Nah, I can't answer the phone now. Ting. But so we're real grateful to have him here and spending some time with us and having a little discussion and a little introspective look into his background and his life and how he got to be where he is. Ladies and gentlemen, my notes. Welcome, the multi-talented, cultured, globe-trotting. Wait, stop me when I line. Globe-trotting, energetic, fashionable, good, intellectual, good, culinary gifted. The man could real cook. Epicurean, nature-loving, humble and modest. My friend, Keshav Chandradatsingh.
It's my distinct pleasure to be here for Inter-Outer National, the inaugural episode, you know what I mean?
Very special.
The O.U.R team.
Very special.
Every time,
it's an auspicious occasion. Thank you for being the first person. Thank you for being somebody that I know I could talk to. So
it's an honor, man. It's an honor.
Yeah. Glad to have you.
Yes,
the first thing is, I was thinking it would be easy to have you on as a guest, right? Because I know you. But when I say let me do this fella the credit of actually, doing some research and digging up on as much information as I could get outside of what, I know. And I was like, this man had real things about him that just in different, just like, if you don't know certain things about you, you're like 3-4 different distinct people.
It's an interesting way you put it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so
it's a lot of different disciplines, I guess, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That is something I realized. I say, wait, there's so much that we could talk about, and we could talk at least an hour on each one, right? But I'll try and keep it simple.
Yeah, I'll give you the abridged version as well,
Yeah.
But as much as you allow me.
Yeah, in as much as I was looking back at your interviews and that kind of stuff, I realized that a lot of it is like promotional. The short, you come into the station and you do this and you do that and had a song and a thing, and I really want to get a sense of your life and your path to you being this producer into performer. What drives you, what inspires you, and what is the connection, even though we think it might be obvious because you're primarily a soca producer and you're involved in the carnivals and those kind of festivals. What actually drives you to choose, because in your case it's very much a choice, to be who you are as this overtly very Trini individual. So your start, so we're going back to basics, family life.
Yeah, man.
Describe the family.
Yeah, I come from a musical family. Like, that is the first way I would describe us. But again, I was exposed to many different disciplines from a very, very young age.
Right.
And being the last of 3 sons, I have 2 elder brothers who are multi-talented.
Either one of them could be, I guess, on the show as well.
Hey, book them for the next one.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I have a lot of inspiration around me till this day in my immediate family.
Right.
So yeah, musical family, but also the fact that we inherently, like to me, inherently traveled the world since birth for me, basically. You know what I mean? Because of my dad's position as a diplomat for Trinidad and Tobago, is something that really affected me, and I believe in a very positive way. I'm very grateful for the ability to have moved around my whole life, and as you say, I have lived in different places, and you can choose. Identities are very interesting.
Yeah, that is what I say is a choice, because
this is it, and so you can choose and pick things, and these things that make up your skill set and your personality and them kind of things. But home is home, and I've grown up with the Trinidad and Tobago flag on my house from the majority of my life, and on the front bonnet of the car. And,
there it is.
Those things, and just seeing these things, and fast forward, I had the pleasure to play football briefly for the youth national team in this country. So when you hear the anthem, and as any proud Trinidadian will, or Trinbagonian will, feel a sense of pride, right?
Right.
And to be on the outside and having a wealth of experience and life experience from youth to adulthood, outside of TNT, the pride of being from TNT is a really special thing, and I think anybody who's listening to this right now can identify with that. So yeah, my Trinbagonianness is definitely something that informs the root of what I do. Some people might even say is a USP, a unique selling point from a business perspective.
Yeah,
but
very much so. Yeah,
we are in the business of pushing the sound of TNT to the globe and on a global in a global context. So yeah, that's one part of it. But bro, it's just so cool to be a Trinidadian, man. This is what we are blessed and lucky. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but yeah, so all right. So it started at home with the musical family, right? You all didn't have a band, did you?
Well, you know what? It's interesting. We didn't have like a name for a band, but we have played on stage as a family a number of times.
Oh, really?
Yes, indeed. With Sharon, Shamal, my two older brothers, and my mom, Anita Chandradatsingh, TV pioneer, and my dad, of course, the ambassador and high commissioner, but musician extraordinaire before he even became a diplomat when he was a younger man. So
nice.
During the different postings that we've had, for instance, in India and the United States, and those in particular, I remember growing up, and we had the opportunity and the chance to curate pretty big festivals to showcase Trinbagonian culture. Where we would have, of course, the stars in soca and calypso and some of the chutney stars and other musicians come, be part of the cultural contingents. But if Chan, my pop, is putting together a cultural contingent, he was going to make it.
Yeah, it's gonna make it hit. And it's gonna have some drums
for sure. And
so and it started with the drums for you, right?
Absolutely.
So I guess it's easy. It's an easy introduction to music.
I think so. Yeah,
it's a universal kind of instrument as well.
Absolutely, and that is how I found myself on stages from a very, very young age, from the age of 3. Like my first memories are being on stage. And so, fast forward to now, I kind of come around to it.
Right.
In a different way. But yeah, I have to give all thanks and praises to my folks and my family for enabling this journey, so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and encouraging and pushing you through.
Yeah, man. It probably wasn't easy for them, and definitely wasn't at some point to realize, okay, you're studying international relations in school.
Wait. We'll get to that. We'll get to all of that, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. So you started and you're accustomed performing as a kid in big stages.
Yeah, strangely so.
Different rooms, not necessarily, coming up performing in a bar or a concert stage or whatever. Yeah, it's a completely different kind of environment where people really paying attention as well. I mean, it's not a fact, right? So you have the attention of people. You have your parents or your father at least around you, and you are aware that you're doing something important.
Yeah, it definitely feels like that, when you're a kid. So it does, man. That's why I'm so grateful, because it's not like I jump in the deep end to try and sing. Like, imagine, look at Marshall, like how he started. With his incredibly supportive family, but also from a very young age in a different way. And they put all the resources behind him in, front man, the band around and that kind of thing. But
Right.
nonetheless, his parents fostered this feeling that he was doing something very worthwhile.
Yeah. I think that is the critical
That's
thing.
value.
That is the critical thing.
You know, so that for that, you know, obviously very grateful, but that makes you then you realize that, okay, yeah, I love Trinbagonian music. That trying to, you know, listen to Rudder and all these different things when you're a child, and Sparrow and Kitch, and you know, identify with it, and you're inherently identifying it because you're picking out the words that your parents are talking, and you know,
Nice.
phrases and things. So, yeah, man, yeah.
And you know,
From youth days,
you know, I'm glad I'm having this conversation, because even though we know each other a long time, right? There's still things I am discovering about you, even now, right? So something like that, growing up in that environment, right? Mm-hmm. It reminds me of something I admired about you early on. You ain't afraid to perform anywhere. You were just any stage, any little room, any group of people. Sometimes, you know, we lime in and you just have a song idea and it will just come out. You'll be like, yeah, Keshav working on something.
Well,
you know?
yeah, tediously, you guys have heard of so many beats over the years, you know, 20 years now.
Yeah,
This guy, we sitting around a table and like listening to beats and in that kind of setting. But yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, because it is fostered from a young age, you know?
Right.
So you absolutely, you know, it's a part of it just feels like what I'm supposed to do. In a sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it comes out very, very natural, and you're very at home on stage and performing. So all right, so formative years, we talking primary school age, you're performing with the family, you're moving around. Mm-hmm. Where did you actually grow up, go to school?
Right. So, okay, so for those who don't know as well, so as I said before, you know, I'm the son of a diplomat who represented and is still representing Trinidad and Tobago in the different high commissions and embassies around the world. And yeah, so I was born in Canada. Let me do the quick run through.
Yeah.
Born in Canada when Dad was posted there. Came back to Trinidad at age 1. Went to India at 4. Came back to Trinidad at age 11, possibly. Then Miami at age 13 or 14. High school in Miami. University for 1 year in Miami. Rest of the years of university in Virginia. Then I was playing football. I had an injury. I came back to Trinidad. I was doing a semester abroad at UE. I took the chance to be able to do some education, some tertiary education in Trinidad at the time. But I was playing football, and that's all I cared about. And I was making beats, bro. and so, and you guys know, you know.
Yeah.
And this is it. So that really took me. You know what I mean? When I started to make music with Tricanal, we fast forward and obviously fast through it. But when I started to make music with Tricanal, I had been giving them tapes prior to that for years, cassette tapes with beats on them that I used to do in Cakewalk, which is now Steinberg, one of the DAW softwares. And I used to you can't bounce the beat. I wasn't bouncing the beats on as a file. I was playing the beats in real time onto a karaoke machine tape, right? And then one after the other, just
real
putting
bare
down
bones
these ideas,
thing.
real creative, interesting ideas. I had a so-and-so rhythm name for everything. And yeah, man, I started off with dancehall though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dancehall and drum and bass, bro. Right? And Shamal is a rockhead, my elder brother, one of my 2 elder brothers. And so, him and Sharon, they fostered that. We would make beats together sometimes, but they really fostered it. And when I got a keyboard in Miami in my 9th grade year, my parents got me this keyboard for Christmas. And then everybody came around, my whole family, we were beating it. I still have a video. My mom has some home video of it.
Yeah.
And we just beating on this keyboard. It was a Yamaha DJX keyboard. And that took it up a level because before I was doing some crazy stuff to make beats, bro, on floppy disks and saving little pieces of audio and putting them in a thing and tapping the tempo on a table. So that was freeing. Technology helps, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We definitely going to talk. We're going to talk about technology in a bit. Go ahead.
This is it, yeah. So, but again, it goes back to the family and them fostering that, getting me the right gift, and then until this day, they get me gifts that really help me along my path. But yeah, I started with that DJX, man, and a compact Presario, and then, you know, pew!
Yeah. Technically, you're also kind of nerdy with the process, and you could get real granular with the production process. You know what? I'm going to jump. So as we talking about process, so how different is your process now as a singer, songwriter, performer? How different is it now to your process as a producer, especially a producer like with another singer?
Right. Okay, that's interesting, man. And I think the reason why I felt like it was the time to make the jump or just add that to my life as a singer and songwriter, after having dabbled with that my whole life and been in rock bands and other things, and various things that kind of led me in that direction, I did make a conscious choice. I'm going to go back for a second. I made a conscious choice to be a producer around 2006, right? When the whole Three Canal thing was happening, these guys was helping me and bringing me up and supported me as a producer, and it helped give me that platform, and then that slingshotted me around the soca world, I guess, right? But so that's one process that was developed over like 20 years from a very, very young age,
Right.
Like almost preteen, making beats really way too young and, learning the trade. But that process was long in curation. But the reason I thought to make the jump and start being a singer-songwriter and an artist is because I then felt like now is the time where I could produce myself. I think before, because I have been very fortunate to work with some incredible artists, man, like in...
for sure, yeah.
And learning from them and just getting time and tenure. Just time, you know what I mean? Time reveals all, I think, and as the saying goes. And so for me, being in the room and working with Bungie, Marshall, Kes, and Tricanal, and Matix, and other MX Prime, and other friends that are like, who see you and recognize you and then foster your growth in the thing is something that allowed me to be able to get to a place where I say, okay, all right. Back then, I would kind of just be experimenting a little bit. And it's a long process. But now, my process is really simple. When it comes to the production of both making beats for myself or for other people, it's become... The sound is less is more. The sound of it is maybe less is more. And that's what made me comfortable to start working on my own productions. But then it's flipped, bro, because at the next part of the process is a singer-songwriter and an artist is that other people making the beats as well now. You know what I mean? So then now I could see it from the artist perspective. When before I, had to come to terms with how to collaborate with a Marshall or a Bungie, who are like some of my key collaborators, right?
Yeah.
And I just observing how they digest things. You know what I mean? From it's almost like a project manager view, whole view, Minority Report thing. They see anything, you know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas, as a producer, you can tend to nitpick. You can tend to be in the track, like you're in a level of Mario. You know what I mean? Like really nitpicking inside the minutiae of the thing.
Right.
But then seeing it from an artist perspective, it really makes everything breathe a little bit. You're saying, well, is they sounding good?
So,
or they sounding complicated? Or they sounding simple? And
so what you're saying is it makes you a better producer as well?
I think it's helping. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely helping.
Both sides, being a producer makes you a better artist, or makes the process of creating as an artist easier?
That's true, but also because I've been a producer for so long. The artist side and now being that and that kind of stuff. People have asked me the question, what's the difference and what's the difference between the process? But the word I keep on coming to in my head is it's liberating to be an artist, because it's kind of freeing me up as a producer as well. And I'm not harping on too many things. I'm just making sure to use what works, what I feel is right, and what's effective. And that's how I started to approach it when I started making my own beats with the kind of indie pop album I did, and then this whole soca album I did, and all these soca singles. It's like each time it's like, okay, it's less tedious, because I'm doing less of what I should be doing and more of simply what works, and just what I feel works.
Oh, we'll talk about it. What you should be doing.
Yeah.
Just now. So, all right. So, musical influences now, because spending time in these different countries that you grew up in, and this is when you would have been, young, mind fresh, and you're absorbing, right? So you're exposed to the US, you're exposed to what was that, Canada, you're exposed to India, and you are learning. Well, you're learning to speak, you're learning social skills, you're going to school, you're learning to play football, I suppose, at this time as well. What was the musical influence? What was the music around you in the space that you were taking in?
Interesting. A lot of traditional Trinbagonian music was kind of instilled in me from a very young age.
But that was at home, though.
Home.
Right.
That's one, right? Always there. Always a wealth of records, and then tapes, then CDs.
Right.
And then, so traditional Trinbagonian stuff, calypso into soca. And because my dad was contemporaries with a lot of the artists and played with a lot of the artists. He's on our Lancelot in It Lane album. He played with Shorty, like brother. Andre Tanko was Shamu's guitar teacher. So that was a big thing. And I was interested in it because I would see these characters in my life.
Right, yeah. And then sometimes you see them on TV.
And then you see them, like, wait, you know what I mean? I remember Shorty coming home in the robe, and you know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, I was kind of fixated on that stuff. But Shamu, the brother immediately elder than me, was into rock music from a very young age. And Sharon the elder brother, was into jazz music. And he played in the jazz ensemble in the high school band in New Delhi at the American Embassy School.
Right, look at that.
This is it, right? So those things were big for me. You know what I mean? Sharon liked R&B and jazz a lot, and dancehall. So the Laundry Colors tapes was always there. Howie T.
Okay, yeah.
Howie T, the hit, man. Like, Howie T was, I used to love the Howie T tapes and the Laundry tapes.
Dr. Hyde, all of them. Yeah,
you know what
right.
I mean? Like, them tapes. Even when we were abroad, Sharon used to get them sent across. And so I used to listen to the dancehall and the R&B and like the jazzy stuff from Sharon, and then the rock music from Shamu, and the
metal
music and the metal stuff with Shamu. And he put me onto drum and bass. And then I kind of made that my thing. Ever since I was like maybe 10, when Prodigy was coming out, and like Ronnie Size and them kind of things, that really struck me because we're drummers in my family, and drum and bass music is kind of really rhythmically just tasty in a sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So them kind of things was like the influence for me. And I started to just kind of weave my way through these things and find things. And years later, we end up on the computer with Napster.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you're like downloading things and on torrents and things. So, yeah, a wide range of things. But then at some point I started picking up classical music, and like classical music, a massive.
This is what I want you to talk about. Your love for classical music.
It's a big one for me, and when you're watching films, right? The scores are always what make you feel what you feel in a sense, right? I always find it so incredible how the composer of the score is able to. It doesn't feel like puppet string pulling, but able to guide the viewer or the listener in a direction that just, when it works well with the visual side of it, it works really well. So, yeah, that's what, listening to amazing scores, man, Star Wars, you know what I mean? Yeah. John Williams. And then now, years later, I realized that John Williams was, inspired by somebody called Gustav Holst, who's like one of my favorite composers, who did the Planets Suite, which is a symphony.
Oh, okay, right. Planets, Mars, right. That's a documentary series or something.
I mean,
right,
yeah. So, so it just sent me on some different things, but Star Wars was a big one for me to get into classical music, right? Because I loved it from a very, very young age.
Right.
So, as a lot of musicians do, scores are like a pathway into that, and then I got really quite into it. And even though I love and make dancehall and soca and beat heavy stuff, the classical music kind of took me into a little bit of maybe a more patient side of listening to music, and so much so that now I also listen to a lot of ambient music that has no beats and it doesn't
no drums.
No drums most of the time. So it's like my palate cleanser. When I'm cooking and thing, which is also an palate cleanser.
Right.
In between the different sessions to try and get some sort of music can have like such a it can have such a suggestive nature to it,
Right? Yeah.
where it means something means for you to do, to experience, and to be moved in a certain way, right? There's intent behind it. But I do seek music now.
It's influential in that
I
way.
seek out music now that is...
with the intent to get there, to be in that mood or to be in that mind space.
The palate, what I'm trying to say is that the palate cleanser for me now, and that was enabled by listening to classical music, is this ambient stuff that feels like it has no motive. So I can get a palate cleanse, you know? And so if
it's not made for you to dance. It's not made for you to feel anything.
No motive,
you just stay in the moment of the music.
This is it. So those, you're asking me what are the different things that were around me. I went from youth all the way till now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
it comes out because it comes out in your versatility, Keshav.
Thank
because you do anything. You're not in one box. You're not just a soca producer. You do them all well, which speaks to an intimacy and an in-depth knowledge of the forms, and what it takes to do them authentically, and with purpose. You're not just try. It doesn't sound like you're just trying a thing because this is what's sounding good.
Fresh, right?
Yeah, or this what popping now, so I will do this. You don't sound like a follower in the music.
But bless the internet, bro. Bless the internet for that. You know what I'm saying? Because, and then it's that, and then it's also your friends who are from the places and from the movements and the things. So I've got the friend who playing the cello in the orchestra, and then there's like my friend in Brazil doing the, batucada and the samba and all that stuff over there, and then you have your friends in India doing that. And so we are lucky to connect now in a way that's so visceral that it's not like I'm trying to catch a piece. I go in out with them, we drinking and eating.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's where that intimacy comes from for me. Like, you wouldn't be able to interface with a culture unless you touch it in some way, or maybe imbibe it or share yours in the same breath as what they're sharing with you. And so, for me, that's the key. Lucky again to have been in these rooms where the jams were happening in our official residence. And my dad would always have like the a music room.
Right.
In the High Commissioner Ambassador's residence, wherever we lived, with tons of instruments, and he had just a library of instruments. But the musicians from all the other countries, would come, and that's what kind of fed that to me. You know what I mean? So yes, there's a lot of different styles, a lot of different things, but it's just because of what I was surrounded by. Yeah.
All right, and you use a keyword there, interface. Mm-hmm. So we moving, you get it, you see it. So we moving from, so you start making beats as a kid. You're playing football. What happened with the sports?
Sports was like the football was an obsession, and I realized I had a talent kind of a little bit late. Like 8th grade, I was in school in Trinidad at Maple Leaf, and Dion Lafoucault was my coach.
Okay.
And then I was like, I could actually play football. I remember as a little kid being really excited by it because Sharon, my eldest brother, was a very talented footballer. And I remember I was 3 for the 86 World Cup, and the whole world was obviously talking about Maradona.
Right.
And they had got me like a Maradona t-shirt, and I remember some of my first memories is throwing the ball up and trying to trap it. Sharon would always say, trap it. This is how you trap the ball. And so, some of my earliest memories is that. And then fast forward, I saw him play, and then he played in his university team in the States, in California.
Right.
And he was very good. Very, very good at it. So I was like, all right.
I have no doubt Sharon was very good.
Excellent footballer. And so I'm watching him, I'm like, okay, word. If you could do that, then I can do that. And then, so just before high school, and then I had the incredible fortune of going to high school in Miami called Gulliver Preparatory School, which is one of the greatest schools in America, but also has an incredible sports tradition. And I went to school with not only some of the greatest soccer players that ended up being on the American team, but NFL players and basketball, NBA players were my friends in high school.
Right, because it was just big on athletics.
Athletics, right? And I was lucky. It was an incredible school. The blessing of being the son of a diplomat and my parents and my mom going with me, and we all, no matter where we lived, try and find the right school, the best school, and be able to go to these schools is just incredible. But the sports program at Gulliver was also incredible, and we were the state champions for many years. We actually won my senior year in high school. We won a national championship, and I was the captain, one of the two captains on the team, and for the whole U.S. And so I was like, all right, this could be serious.
Yeah.
And then I came down to Trini to try out for the youth national team, the under.
That's what, under 16?
It was under 20.
Under 20.
Yeah, I was like 17, but too old to be on the under 17 team.
Right.
And so, because, Jack was at a Gold Cup match in Miami, Jack Warner.
Right.
Was at a Gold Cup match, and we were in the box, and a couple of my teammates was with me, like some of my best friends who were on the soccer team with me in high school, and Jack Warner was there, and we were talking to him, and I was trying to push the issue. I was like, how can I get a trial on the national team? And he's like, well, he asked me some questions, and I told him, I'm playing for Gulliver Prep, we're like the state champions, etc. And he's like, all right, if you come to Trinidad, I'm going to sort out a trial for you. And so I came, but during that, I also, and this has always followed me, I had the chance to do music, and in the form of being an intern to gain experience at the Caribbean Sound Basin.
Right.
When I was like 17 years old. And at that time, it was kind of maybe on its way out, I would say.
What, Sound Basin?
Sound Basin, yeah. And there were some dope producers there still, like Jandre Diaz and Daniel Simpson. And
hey, shout out Jandre.
Right? And Shell Shock was still in there a bit, so I did have my first ever encounter with Shock at that point. But I had a run of the place. And I was making beats, bro, on Logic when it was E-Magic before Apple bought it. And as a 17-year-old, just making stink dancehall beats, just all day. Because I was living in Miami at the time. And dancehall was exploding in Miami in 97, 8, 99, 2000, 2001. And
so this is fully digital dancehall.
Yeah, dancehall thing. I still, at that point, I was making like fully MIDI beats and trying to use good samples that were already in the thing. Now it's a combination of live and MIDI, of course. But yeah, bro. And so that. So
you've always had to choose.
Well, this is it. You know what I mean? And so the football thing was quite serious, and I was obsessed with it. But when you're really obsessed with it, sometimes you try to grab onto something so tight it could slip through your fingers.
Right.
And I got an injury. I was playing with Alvin Corneal's team on a summer break when we were in Miami, because when I was visiting home from university and when I was in Virginia, and I tore my ACL and like everything, a bad tackle, right?
Right.
And so then I was like, okay, then you have the surgery, and then you're recovering, so I took a semester off of school to recover from the thing at some point. But it came back good, and I came down and I wanted to play in the Pro League because we'd qualified for the World Cup, Trinidad.
Right.
And I was a youth player on the fringes at the time. And so I was playing in different Pro League teams and not really getting too much of a foot in. Some people were supporting me and kind of trying to push me, but it's crazy at that point. Everybody with a Trinidadian passport wanted to make the senior national team. So yeah, that dream
now everybody with a Trinidadian grandfather.
Well, now we can do that. So the pool has expanded, right? This is it. But at that time, life just kind of made its own choice for me in that sense. And so even with the knee thing, I came back. I was balling. I was like, why don't they pick me? I scored real goals. But a blessing in disguise, because I landed fully in the Tricanal fold, being in the Tricanal show, working with Shell.
How that happened? It was through Shock?
No, it was through meeting them with my parents. They came to the Midem Festival in Miami. This is the whole next thing, bro. The Midem Music Festival, World Music Festival, was held in Miami at an amazing location on this coral, like a ship that's made out of coral. That's like a stage as well. And so
if we could imagine that.
Right. This World Music Festival now. And there was a Trini showcase, or a Caribbean showcase, and there was a few Trinbagonians performing. And it was Marshall, Ataclan, Tricanal, Super Blue, a couple others, and then as part of that, there were some other people around, like Minchell was there, and there was a few other, cultural heavyweights of Trinidad and Tobago, and of course, being the consul general, which is the ambassador in a city that's not the capital city, in Miami.
Right.
My dad had an event after Midham. We went to Midham. I saw it. I saw Marshall with ecstatic, and singing all them crazy songs. He had the Janks, short dreads.
Right.
And I was like, what is this? This is crazy. I knew about the music already, right? But to see that and see him do that, I was like, nah, this is something I want to kind of do.
Right. So that is what tipped the scale.
Yeah, that was one of the things. And then afterwards, they were all in the house, and we was jamming, and I was drumming.
As would happen at your house
Dad
anyway.
was like, come bring the drum, and we drumming, me, Sharon, and my dad drumming, and all of them drumming, and
Right.
Canal spitting, and Marshall, and it's kind of crazy stuff was happening, and that kind of was a bug that bit me, and these guys ended up being some of my closest collaborators now.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I mean?
yeah.
Years later, because
Full
I remember
circle.
from when I was a little kid, sending them beats or giving them cassettes and CDs and stuff, So, yeah, the football led into that in that way. Miami had a big part to do with it as well. Like, that posting was cool because it's far enough away from home to be an incredibly interesting experience because Miami is like its own country, but close enough to home to be like home.
Yeah. So, all right. So I want to talk to you about, I want to move on to your collaborators, local and international. I know there's a long list, but I also want to highlight something that speaks to your range, right? As a, not just a producer, as a musician. How many bands have you been a part of, Keshav, locally?
Interesting. Let me see. Let me see if I can try and rattle it off. When I first came back, I went straight into Shamal, my elder brother's band, The Generals, which was formerly The Surgeon Generals, with Darren Pierre, Shamal, Brian McMayo, a.k.a. Puss, Christian Dobson, Otto. And these guys we became like a very tight family, and it enabled my rock growth.
Right.
Rock music.
So so give me the bands and the genre.
Right. So Surgeon Generals / Generals, The Generals rock, which then kind of morphed and personnel changed, and then I started working with Jared Mendonça came into the band, and then that band changed into another band called Cambule briefly. But also at the same time I was in The Generals, I was in Buzz Rock, doing different things.
Imagine that. So this is, and Buzz Rock is
a reggae band.
Like roots reggae band.
Dub reggae, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Foundation. Right, yeah.
And so and like that was a beautiful learning experience, and being with the Rasta community in Arima and in the East, and like going by nature and staying by the studio and waking up and just like, learning some cool patterns and learning from Sadiki and Aiku and nature himself.
Yeah,
and
shout out to all of Buzz Rock.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course. And that was an incredible learning experience. So sometimes Kete, sometimes the keyboard when needed that keyboard skank, and I was doing skank. And that band was beautiful, and it was a great experience. So that as well, and then Tree Canal the whole time as well. So different.
So Tree Canal was bubbling.
That was since I came back as well. I got in contact with Wendell. I think my mom had given me his contact, or just said go and link with them or something, because we had met sometimes before when I was in high school still. And
you was getting in trouble?
Get in trouble?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a troublemaker in my own way, but you learn to deal with that. You know what I mean?
You don't strike me as a kid who would give trouble, but a kid with a lot of energy.
Yeah, mischievous. You know what I mean?
That somebody, you'll be bouncing off the walls if you don't channel it
focus,
into something.
Exactly. So being up, that's a good segue into the focus that I was able to learn more of from being a part of the Tree Canal fold, from our three big bros.
Big brothers.
You know what I mean? And they're incredibly sensitive, like, tutelage, you know what I mean? And yeah, I think that's a massive one for me, bro. being part of the Tricanal fold and seeing theater, dance, music, art from a holistic perspective.
Yeah, because there's a one-stop shop. You
Absolutely.
have the Tricanal show, which is theatric. You have the shows that would have been in the yard.
And Stanton with his molding and building capabilities, and then Roger with his
it's a workshop.
Wendell with
Yeah.
his conceptual and
musical depth and all of that as well.
So I'm an understudy watching all this stuff.
That was a kind of school for you then.
100%. Still is, continues to be. And so that was a crazy building experience for me, growth experience. And that was really something that, even though I was doing the rock stuff and reggae stuff and learning these incredible things, in these incubators, the Tricanal experience led me to becoming a soca music producer and making Trinbagonian music, rap and soca and thing, and studying how to present the unique rhythmical hands of Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
The hands, or the patterns as we call them, right? In both the Indo and African tradition of Trinbagonian drumming and rhythm. Hands. And that is what makes up our rhythmical identity and the things that we, use as to tell our story as Trinbagonian people in music.
Right.
Which is heavily in soca and calypso and chutney and all these things, right? Pan.
So Generals, Buzz Rock, Tricanal.
Briefly a band called Cambule. Pretty much that's it. It felt like more, but pretty much that's it. And I've been able to...
You had a stint with 12.
I mean, I would play with them once in a while.
And Gazette.
Play percussion, because, pull their hand, and you too. We play on stage with 12
we were in the same band, but
you know what I mean? So
maybe not at the same time, I think.
Right, exactly. So little meandering here and there, but I'm grateful for all of those experiences.
I could remember one of my first memories of you is it would have had to be at CCA, one of those nights playing at Dustbin.
Right, yes.
With that would have been Jethro.
Probably, yeah.
I am sure I have a picture of that. I will find it and I will show it to you.
Please do. I remember you had your camera out.
But
Valdez has some iconically captured moments from the arts and entertainment community in Trinidad and Tobago. You had to bring them things out, right?
It was real knocking about. But I was like, why this guy so hyper, boy? What he playing there at Dustbin? It's sounding good, but why you playing at Dustbin? It didn't make sense at the time, but it was a good performance. You're still in touch with Solia, with Jethro?
Yes, absolutely. And he had a massive impact and has had a massive impact on my life. And because of that particular vibe that night and a couple of things at Alice Yard and things, bless up the Alice Yard folks, the original Alice Yard.
The original Alice Yard,
Jethro Sheeran, and people will recognize the name because he's the elder cousin of Ed Sheeran. And Jethro is a guy from Bristol, UK. And I ended up making a major shift in my life and a major level up from my experience in the United Kingdom, because during a Tricanal tour, myself...
Stick up in.
All right.
I think we should talk... I think we covered you moving around and the formative years and your foundation in Trinidad. I think we could, if it's all right with the boss, we could take a little break. Come back and we'll talk about your growth you decide now, you're a musician, you're a producer, you're doing this thing. And we'll talk about your growth and your expansion outside of Trinidad. So join us as we're taking our break now. Oh, we have some things. Remember, you see the link on it should be just under the chat window. Donate 6-8 to help us out at the studio, help us out, as they say, keep the lights on and keep this thing running. We'll be back shortly.
Need to raise funds for your next creative project, event, or invention? Or maybe you or a family member are raising funds for much needed medical treatment. Now, you can get started raising that much needed cash via Donate68.com, the newest 100% homegrown crowdfunding platform in Trinidad and Tobago. Donate68.com accepts donations from all major credit cards, but not only that, for those without a credit card, you can use your everyday Visa debit card to make donations. So log on today and create a campaign for your next passion project, startup, or cause. Share your campaign with your community of family, friends, and supporters to get the financial backing you need. Donate68.com, funding your culture.
Yes. Welcome back to Inter-Outer-National. We have here joining us, I must say again, I'm very grateful for joining us in this very, very busy time.
Likewise, my brother. No, absolutely. My pleasure, man, to do an in-depth interview with you like this.
Because I know there's crunch time for you. You're getting ready for the season coming up, and no doubt making some hits for us to dance and boogie too next year.
Yeah, you know what? We're working in the daytime mostly, So right now, it's cool.
Before you go to the night shift when the horse is running.
Sometimes I just had But sometimes I just had to like double up and work in the day and the night. But I really prefer more to work in the daytime these days. You know what I mean? But
really?
I definitely prefer it more now. Used to be the opposite.
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah. All right, but before we go into that, as we linemen, I don't like thirsty lime.
All right.
Right? And thanks again. Remember, people, donate 68 to help us out here. We have no sponsors, small staff, and we're doing the best that we could. But we have friends. And one of those friends was gracious enough to gift us some local, because, we also strictly local here at our radio.
That's it.
Some local wine, and I thought this one was fitting. So this is some wine from Miklosh. Miklosh. It's French.
All right, nice.
Because it's a wine.
Rice, yeah?
Yeah. So right. So when I asked her, I say, Miss Michelin, what wines are they, girl? I sat in a little show. I have a guest coming and thing, and she call out the flavors and thing, and she tell me she have rice. I say, rice?
That's like Trini sake, bro.
And so I say, well, my boy just come back from Japan. So we go have a little Trini sake.
Yes, man.
A little Trini sake, and you'll tell me.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll tell me how it measures up.
Yeah, right.
Wait, hold on.
So
I'll tell you a small staff, so small staff, so we had to share the wealth,
Doing big things.
Right. So cheers,
Matix.
Yeah. Matix here with us.
That smells amazing.
Yeah, I'm saying it's I know all the fancy words to describe the wine and thing.
That's amazing. Wow. It tastes like a very good sake. It tastes like a good sake. That's good. But it's Trini rice wine. That is it. I wonder if they're using like
it's
the
nice
rice
and flavorful.
I would like to ask her what kind of rice, because I learned something in Japan.
I thought it would have been, a little
the type of rice.
Type
there's different types of rice that they use, and the different grades of polish that they're using of the rice. The different polishing amounts.
You see what I tell you about
it?
You see why I say Epicurean? you see why I talk about that? I tell you, stop me if when I lie, the man is an Epicurean. He'll go into the flavor profiles,
of course,
and the history of this herb.
We gotta get deep in it, but this is really good, actually.
Yeah.
Big up Miklosh for the
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Rice.
Hopefully, well, and there's another thing. We also got.
So good.
I have it here. We also got another bottle, which is
Jamun.
Jamun.
Wow.
Which I've never had.
Wow.
But
dry. It's a dry, kind of dry casa in a nice way.
See what I'm talking about? So, this bottle actually was supposed to be the prize for the guest.
They can still win a prize?
No.
We keeping that one?
No. We drinking this.
All right.
That was supposed to be a prize for guest the guest. But nobody guessed.
Well, it's the first. We'll give them a little excuse because it's the first episode. So now they know, right? They had a guess. The guest who gonna be on the show. And we put up cryptic picture of me. ZZ took a little picture of me, my hand on the keyboard and thing, and it's like put a little Just Now drum in the back and thing. So next time, you can win something.
Yeah, that
really
was
cool.
that was a very creative picture. I was to be honest, I wasn't expecting it.
Hey, I was telling you, DZ, I'm busy doing a session.
The man say, boy, I'm busy. I don't know if I could do that. Think, what you need in the picture? Nah. Text me. I can't talk now. I say, oh gosh, I ain't getting the picture.
We found that 15 minutes.
And if he send that picture, it'll just be a hand and thing. I say, all right, this ain't going to work. But
it worked out.
Nah, you pull out a nice one. Thank you very much
man.
for doing that. Right. So where were we? We were formative years done. You decide, yeah, boy, this music thing is what I want to do. And you're doing it. And it's going well. And you're successful. You're touring because you were on tour with Trikanal.
Absolutely.
Right?
But you're learning, bro. This is like, it's exponents to what we are saying is success. And that's obviously relative to what you believe it is, right? But yeah, plenty years have catch ass in a way, in a sense, because you're doing this as full time,
right?
But when you're young and enthusiastic about anything, you're kind of going real gung ho with it, and everything is that right through. And casting a wide net at that point is probably, that's what I was doing,
right?
Sending real beats, doing real thing. But you're developing your sonic identity at that point, So over all of these years, doing all of these things, being in these bands, getting the chance to test things on a stage setting in big festivals, with Trikanal and stuff like that. And then, of course, then with Just Now, right? So that is
right. So that is where we're moving on to Just Now. No, because you said interface earlier. Who is your creative part? The original Just Now.
Absolutely.
The creative, it was a duo.
Yes.
You have a lot of duo combinations,
A couple in a sense. Big up Bebo. By the way, Lamar Pollard was like my first production partner when I first came to Trini.
See?
We did a bunch. We did I Love It with Trikanal, something with Bungie. There was a few things, and that was like the first thing into the soca thing for me was with B-Boy,
Right.
But yes, a few. And then, years later, I met Sam in Bristol, which I was alluding to earlier.
Right, that's what triggered the thing.
This is it. And so going to Bristol, UK, after the Trikanal tour, we took a couple days in Bristol. Me, Kiwan Landred Smith, one of Trinidad and Tobago's greatest guitarists, and Corey Wallace, one of Trinidad and Tobago's greatest bass players.
Yeah.
And we were all in the Trikanal band together, cut and clear, right? And we took this trip down to Bristol to see Jethro Sheeran, and we went immediately to a festival, WOMAD Festival. And we'd been to festivals before with Trikanal. Even on that tour, we were playing in festivals in France and in other places in England. And I was so enamored. I fell in love with Bristol because we had a few days there. It was summertime. It was nice and hot. And I had always been obsessed with drum and bass and trip hop, Massive Attack, Tricky, and all these other acts from Bristol. And of course, Banksy, coming of age at that time in the arts and entertainment world.
And counterculture and all of that.
This is it.
Yeah.
So, fell in love with Bristol. And I met Sam a few trips after that. And Sam is the other half, or the founding other half of Just Now, basically. And now we are four. But Sam and I were a duo for the majority of the years of Just Now's existence.
Right. Yeah. And still.
He's there. Yeah, absolutely, making music with us, and we are part of collective now with Blase Vanguard. Big up Blase every time. He's
big
out
up
in England.
Blase.
Hope he's staying warm out there. Repping on Represent Radio, he's doing his thing big out there, and big up to Cersei, who's an absolute legend in the UK Caribbean.
The man with the
music
gift
culture.
of gab, boy.
Yes, Sarah's great. As a host, he's one of the most legendary hosts in UK dance music and Caribbean music because he's hosted for Basement Jaxx and Toddler T and as an artist in his own right. And of course, I'm just grateful to have learned from him because he's an amazing front man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I watching you know what I mean? Like,
Nah, you
learning the
keep
chops.
Sarah keep you engaged for sure.
Yeah, and also in line as well. He don't pour no water in his mouth. Even on stage, I get cussed like so many times. You know, he's like, "You want to do this? Okay, I'm gonna show you how it's done." You know,
Right.
yeah.
So all right. So Just Now is formed. How did that come about? So you all just
I'll keep it
you all
quick
just met.
as possible.
Yeah, please.
I'll keep it quick as possible. So we met in Bristol through a guy named DJ Bungie. Interestingly enough, a legendary Bristolian hip hop DJ and part of a band called Laid Black. If you ever heard Ed Sheeran's My Eyes Are Red remix, that is a Laid Black song that he remixed, and then that was one of the main things that started to get him noticed.
Right.
But yeah, that guy, DJ Bungie from Bristol, Bungy from Bristol, was Sam Interface housemate. And so he introduced me to Sam at a drum and bass night, one of the most legendary drum and bass nights in the world called Run. And then I met Sam. Then I met him the next year briefly, just talking, you know, back and forth.
Yeah. Hey, that's all there from last year.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we linked on MySpace. This is
Say what?
years at MySpace. We shared each other's MySpace, so we were playing tunes back and forth and sending each other music. Back and forth. And on the third time I met Sam, we finally got in studio. He's like, "Yeah, you know what, man? Let's get into studio. I want to get you on some stuff because I heard you drum and it's really dope." So I put down some hand percussion on a drum and bass tune, which ended up being on a drum and bass EP he released, which started to get him a lot of notoriety in the drum and bass and jungle world. And then, I was like, you know, after I did that session, it was just before I left and came back to Trini. I invited him to come to Trinidad for Carnival. I was like, you know what, we have a good connection in the studio.
So that is what happened.
Yeah, he came down. He had split up from his girlfriend at the time, and he's like, this is a perfect opportunity for me to come and broaden my horizons, right?
Right,
so he
okay.
came to Trini, stayed with me for 2 months. It was just, who does that, right? He said he just went out on a limb because he thought the energy was good, and I thought the energy was good. Something happened.
Clearly, it was good because look what came out of that combination.
Yeah, something compelled us to link up, man.
Nice.
And I was like, nah, this guy had to come back home, and he did. And he was waiting in Tricanal practices for the majority of that time because it's, you know, we're preparing for the show, and I'm in the band, and I'm, you know, constructing the show with Wendell, with the productions and the music, right? And he just waited for hours and hours and asking everybody, where can I get some food around here? And then he's asking me between the breaks, "Okay, I'm really hungry, man. Like, I just want to get some food." I'm like just now. Everybody's telling him just now, right? And he doesn't understand that definition of it.
What do you mean?
Where it's ambiguously maybe in a bit later, kind of might happen. It'll happen in a little while.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas for them, just now is something that already happened. So it's a
So I came from the thing just now. That is UK and European version of it.
Of just now. So that word was a very
and
interesting.
Our just now is future. It's future tense.
Yeah, so it's a real interesting metaphysical concept that we kind of had a eureka about. It's like, wow, this is real interesting because our cultures kind of
You have the same term, but it means the complete opposite.
Yeah, and so that was.
And you come from different places.
That's how it started.
All of that, right?
Absolutely, but that's how it started in a nutshell. And so he was by me. We were making music at home, and started to make some crazy stuff, man. Like really interesting soca and jungle 160. We started at 160 BPM, and it's like power soca and jungle and drum and bass at the same time. And I was like, nobody done that yet. But it makes so much sense because that's all I wanted to do.
And easy to mix too.
Absolutely, right? So we started experimenting there with that stuff. And Peter Doig, the incredible artist and friend of ours.
Yeah, shout out to Peter.
Yeah, man, every time. Had this series at the Fernandez compound and at his massive art studio where we would gather, right, as musicians and artists, and we happened to be at one of those.
Jazz Film Club.
Right, and he was playing us records, and he played Savage, and I was like, this is so cool, I want to sample this, which ended up being a record we did with Bungie.
Right.
And, you know, Sam was there for this period, and he's like, But he heard we were making music, and he was very interested in it because he had heard my productions before. We had, chopped it up a lot about music and heard my beats. And he said, well, you know what? If you're making this music, come and play a set here at Studio Film Club. And that was the first time, on a whim, we had 1 week to prepare like some tunes.
Yeah.
Sam had CDs that he brought for a CD. He needed CDJs. Peter got some CDJs. And Sam played a set of like 5 or 6 of records that we made in that short period of time, and along with drum and bass and other kind of like soca and stuff like that. Yeah. And that was the first and archetypal Just Now set that happened at CCA 7 Arts Collective at Peter Doig's studio in 2010, I think it was.
Right.
Yeah.
So Just Now is born.
Yes.
And goes on to be producing and making hits out the box, or it took a little while.
We did some music with Tree Canal. We did something with Bungie. The first one that we did with Bungie, called Savage, which is an interpolation of Maestro Savage, but in a modern context, and different lyrics, and like we we made a beat around the brass lines and stuff, right? In true Just Now style. We had made quite a few productions at that point and had a few things out. We released on a big drum and bass label in the UK, which is a independent but the influential one called Gutter Funk. Right? And that got us kind of like started to push our name out, and we started to perform these productions at festivals. And then we ended up getting an agent and stuff like that, and then start to play out a lot, right, as a live act. But in the midst, we did that record with Bungie Savage, and then Sammy had come back to Carnival again because he just kept on coming every year.
Because what you gonna do now? You're producing the music. You had to be in touch with what's going on.
What's going on the ground. And so we was playing in Tribe, and we heard it on the road like real times. Yeah. And we was gassed, man, gun fingers in the air, whole day just gassed up. Like, okay, wow, and it sounds amazing. And it sounds hard compared to a lot of the other stuff. Yeah,
you're well, Just Now, speaking of Just Now, the music opens up very well. But it doesn't get like jarring the louder it gets.
We believed that when we started to do this,
it will hit you, but it's not like oh gosh.
We were trying to bring back some weight into the soca music productions, because at a time in the 2000s, soca music mixes started to get very thin and pangy and tinny, and I also wanted to make productions that are full of heavyweight. Drum and bass was my inclination. I like dancehall, hip hop, drum and bass, fat bass. And Sam comes from production culture that is obsessed with making bassy and weighty stuff.
Yeah, it's drum and bass, right?
Absolutely. So that was one of our mission statements in soca music, and I have to say, at this point, after nearly 20 years, we've helped to put the heavy weight back into soca music, and I'm so happy that, because in the beginning we would take the songs, even in our live sets, if we play big soca songs of the day back in 2010, 2011, 2012, the mixes were a little thin. We would add things. I would strip out the bass, I'd add a fat 808 to it, and he would do his production style to make it sound really weighty. But now we're at a place where soca music productions are really fat and heavy, man, and we definitely had a part to play in that.
Yeah. Thank you for that, because that keeps the bass line, keeps the waistline moving, right? So what I also liked about Just Now Productions is the bass but the textures, right? So with the hand percussion and the percussion overall, percussion sounds, that range of sound over the bass and the rhythm is very clean. I really like how we all keep it distinct, and it doesn't get muddy, especially the louder it gets. What was the impetus towards doing that? You know what?
Yes, we were making bangy beats and still make bangy beats, but to be classy about it was something that was very important for us.
Right.
So that's why you'll hear certain things like me hitting the edge of a drum and going in between things with a big reverb on it, so it adds a 3D element to the record. So there's dynamics, and this is something that's really present in drum and bass music. There's so much dynamics, even though it's fast and heavy and 170 BPM. There's dynamics and textures, and that's the cornerstone of the drum and bass palette of producers. They're just incredible and incredible engineers, and that's something that I always emulated and wanted to learn growing up, and I ended up being thrust into that world, right?
Right.
So adding wheating into that did produce a very interesting.
You pour pepper in the pot.
Yeah, boy, and you know, and bust the pepper, and then painting the strokes that we tried to paint in just now, but through the lens with heavyweight Trinbagonian percussion and ethnic, our historical drum sound from India and Africa, but through the lens of that high-tech and classy style production of UK bass music, produced something very interesting in just now. So yeah, I agree, man. Like, we were at the forefront of something very interesting, and yeah, the rest is history now, you know.
Right. Yeah. So so just now took you guys to where? Because you all did a lot of festivals.
Yes, we started to become a live act quite early into Just Now's life. And Vanna used to roll with us.
Yeah.
And,
rest in peace.
You know, and dance on stage with us. And Sarah C was the host and vocalist. So Sam and I would be in the back. I would be drumming, playing a whole set of things representing the rhythm section. Yeah. And Sam is DJing, right? And Sarah on the mic, Vanna dancing, and we did this.
Oh, you know, I remember the Wimbledon. It was Wimbledon. It was some Wimbledon kits. You all had a tennis. You all had a tennis team.
We used to wear themes at some
point. When
we started to get a little better at the whole outside presentation thing. Yeah, we'd play like 20 festivals a year. You know, kind of thing. Yeah, and gigs. You know, in the summertime. Right. All the way from May till
UK
August.
Summer. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So Just Now, all the while, you know, Just Now was doing productions in Trinidad and Caribbean. We would be performing more and more of them live as part of our set and our own original instrumental records. And now, of course, our vocal records with our own instrumentals. So it's been an evolution, man. But yeah.
You all did stuff with Major Lazer as well?
Yes, we've collaborated with them. They've remixed our work as well. They're, you know, like family. Absolutely. Big up Chris. Chris used to be one of my first managers. Right. And in the early days of when Major Lazer just started, when it was Diplo and Switch, you know, me and Sam met Diplo and Switch. We were introduced by Chris. Right. And this is the beginning for both of us. And whereas they've gone a very much more dancehall route, which also encompasses different types of hot stuff that's happening around the world, Just Now has a firm rooted base in the Trinbagonian percussion sound. Right. Even though we are in contact, as you say, which is segueing into what you asked me actually, is where have we been around? Yeah. And we do have elements from all over that make parts of my musical understanding and Sam's, and now of course the other guys. But yeah, man, it took us, you know, our live performing show took us to Brazil. We played at the Porto Musical Festival there, as well as just before the Brazil Carnival in Bahia, which is incredible because I got to meet David Rudder's compatriots from back in the day when he was down there. And we called David on Facebook and thing. It was real interesting. But yeah, in India as well, at the Rajasthan International Folk Festival, which is an incredible festival in a desert in Rajasthan, at an old fort, which I used to go to a lot as a kid, which was very interesting. The Maharaja of Jodhpur was my dad's very close friend and the former High Commissioner of India and Trinidad. So real interesting.
Look at that.
You know, they booked us for that festival. And yeah, man, Germany, Spain, all over the United Kingdom, Scotland, where else? Belgium, some other places in the Caribbean, Barbados, Antigua. There's quite a few I'm missing out. But yeah, Just Now is really enabled my travel even further, and it's made the travel schedule even more busy,
even more hectic. So you are really the epitome. You really epitomize the international, because I think at some point I must have had 3 different numbers for you.
Well, I was bad with the phones back in the day. You know, now I've had one for a few years. Well, but I used to be like Kafra. Shout out Kafra.
Hey, Kafra Watman. Yes, I'm sure he's looking at us right now.
Hey. Yeah, man.
Yeah. And, 3 different numbers, like different country codes and that kind of thing. And it's like, the first thing you have to do before you call Keshav, and a lot of my friends actually, is check the time, right?
Yeah.
You had to have the world clock.
Yeah.
You had to have the world clock out to see what time it is there, so that you're not waking up our boy. So right, so just now took you back out.
Yeah. Quite a bit, and often as well. So when we started to become a more established performing act, we picked up an agent, and then we had management in the UK, and a team started to develop around us, right?
Yeah.
And so then that requires you to be back often, I guess. Well, in a schedule, it was winter in the clubs.
Right.
Because the circuit is that in the wintertime in the UK, it's a club circuit. You're playing club gigs. And then in the summer, it's festival gigs.
Yeah,
with a mixture of
outside
club
in
and
the park
the
and
corporate
thing,
things
yeah.
and stuff like that. But by and large, the highlight of the year has been always Boomtown and Glastonbury in the summertime, and then Notting Hill Carnival. Three sort of big
Right,
ones
so going on,
UK.
yeah, so I want to talk about Notting Hill quickly. You all are pretty much a mainstay in Notting Hill.
Absolutely. And, it's amazing to have been kind of like invited into the family of the actual Notting Hill administrative events people, because Mangrove, the band that started the whole Notting Hill Carnival, that administrates the Tabernacle, which is like the headquarters of Notting Hill, has had us performing there for some years on the outside on their stage, which is also run by a dear friend of ours, Celeste Doig, who is Peter's daughter and a close collaborator of Just Now, and we do an event together in Trinidad called Duty Free.
We will get to that. We will get to Duty Free. Yeah, go ahead.
So familial connections out there, and it's just beautiful to see how massive Trinbagonian Carnival has become in the United Kingdom, the biggest street party and assemblage of people in Europe. Incredible. Close to 2 million people in a small neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a testament to the idea that was born so many years ago.
Yeah.
To have this thing thriving now. But I heard rumors that it might be under threat, maybe, kind of.
Yeah, it keeps being under threat.
People kind of fighting it.
And then there's little bailouts here and there, like what happened this past Notting Hill Carnival. There was was at risk of not happening because they weren't getting enough funding. So it's treated in a kind of strange way, Notting Hill, because there's a section of people in the United Kingdom that completely shun it and are completely against it. And Notting Hill as a community came up and became a strong community because of the West Indian people that moved there, because of Windrush generation.
Yeah.
And now, because it's incredibly gentrified, there's a big pushback against the Caribbean people being in Notting Hill. But you'll find a dichotomy of people who've been living there since the Windrush, and then you have new school,
first generation, children, their children and grandchildren now.
But also it's prime real estate. Notting Hill. Notting Hill is really expensive, and especially to live in. So there's a little bit of a fight on the Notting Hill Carnival, but we are part of it. And Notting Hill Carnival, to us, both on the dance music side and the soca side and the Jamaican side, which is also a massive part of it, because it's a Caribbean, unity festival more than anything else. Is a chance. Notting Hill Carnival is a chance for us, and it's always been one of the main receptacles to pushing soca music into the mainstream of the United Kingdom and Europe. And because during that time we get to perform at these massive events, and also we're on BBC regularly. And
listen, you're on BBC right through.
Yeah, so they whenever it's time for Carnival, again calls. Asking, you can link me with Bungie, you can link me with so and so, thing. Can you guys come on? Can you guys send us a mix? So then Sam and then now Blase is busy getting mixes together.
Nice.
And it's just prime time to be able to push soca music into the mainstream consciousness of the United Kingdom, because it's rinsing day and night, man. You know what I mean? So that couple weeks period leading up to Notting Hill Carnival, so we take full advantage of that.
BBC One Extra is a big supporter.
Radio One Extra, as you know, you're a listener, right?
Yeah.
So
Six Music, big up to Jams
every time, family.
All right, so you're outside, you're knocking about with Just Now. You're back in Trinidad how often? during that time?
Well, I still live in home at that point, but I'm taking long trips and staying with Sam in his house in Bristol. And when we're going to play gigs, we're doing the gig, and we're staying in a hotel and coming back, or just coming back immediately after to Bristol. That lasted for a good few years, where I'm out there from May to August, the end of August, and then back, and then I'm here until December, January, and then I'm back again.
Right.
But now
it kind of shifted.
It's shifted a little bit because of the amount of soca music that we have. Because in the beginning we didn't have that much. We had these mad beats that were like soca and jungle and like other tempos. But now, because we have a lot of soca records under our belt and that have been out and have become kind of classics in soca, they've become a big part of our set.
Yeah.
And that's that's the basis of just now. Besides it being a UK dance music thing, it's a soca thing, and that inevitably finds itself in the lead up to Notting Hill Carnival, because, as I say, that's the main receptacle for us, and to be able to push our music and soca music and new Caribbean music as we have been. So, out there for the second half of summer. So I'm trying to condense it, because I'm an artist too, and I also want to be home, and I have a life, and I want to be home, and see my girl and see my family and thing, and it works out better for me. And I think where I needed some help understanding that, and now I do understand it, that you can be out there for long, but rarity as a commodity, in an economic sense.
They kind of make yourself scarce sometimes.
A little bit, and I think we keep it potent. So us moving as a collective now with Blase, Cersei, myself, Sammy. Sam's no longer on the stage. He's being a great dad and also smashing it in the studio and being a very sought after engineer. So he's happy in there doing it from that perspective. But we three outside. Just back again, man. Back on the road and playing festivals again, leading up to Carnival, Notting Hill Carnival.
Yeah.
Then we do that, and then boom, we're back this way. I go to Japan and thing before. Now that's a part of the annual thing, and then I come back home.
Yeah, so but this year Japan wasn't the first time you've been there.
It was the second time.
Second time, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
That's an amazing experience.
If we have time, we'll talk about Japan.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about something before we get close to wrapping up. How are you going there with the Trini Saki?
Good, really good.
I think I will suggest to her to just name this Trini Saki.
It's very good. And it also. He had Morris here, but
we'll deal with it. Something I want to talk to you about. Your fashion sense, Keshav. Right? Yes. Well, your sense of fashion, how you present yourself. What's the big word? Sartorially.
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 I don't know.
Sartorially.
You know what? Hey,
where that come from? The colors. I mean, and even the rock star.
You're not telling them I show up in a massive.
Wait.
I had to change it to
so
more subdued color.
What in the earliest with the music? I also remember you designing your own
painting and things.
Doing the hand painting on the t-shirts and
Nikolai Salcedo does as well.
Yeah,
man, because you're expressing, and also at that point, they will just roll into one style and then to the next style and to the next style. But now I have in a little bit of direction, because I have the season. Each season is a different little look. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I have been rocking some certain accessories. So you see, they have the rings and thing now.
And the lizard
from
earring.
Denise Henry.
Hey, shout out Denise.
Yes, handmade by Henry. Awesome. She has so many different lizards that she's given me in different colors that I've asked her to make.
And they're becoming a trademark for you.
It's becoming a thing, right? But yeah, bro. Like, in short, that the style expression is kind of based on what I'm feeling for the season. So this time, shameless plug. I have a song called Symphony, right? And that's the first song I'm bringing out as a solo artist this Carnival, and that has a whole different thing to it. So I've been wearing a shirt jack this year, which I wasn't wearing in the years before. So I have a couple different shirt jacks. I was in Brooklyn recently. I pick up a few more shirt jacks.
Oh, so it's themed.
It's themed a bit. It's just how I feel. So you know how artists might go through a particular period of whatever medium they're using or whatever style.
Right. Okay.
So man, it gives me a little.
But why I always found
like a new uniform.
Interesting is your incorporation and your use of color, boy. sometimes it's real loud.
Yeah, sometimes it's crazy loud. There's a closet in my house that is just way too loud, and I don't even want to open it sometimes, because when you're done with that, if you really like read over it's like, oh my gosh. But soca music, I mean, and I'm ever more part of the soca thing, and I'm enjoying it. And
so what I'm saying is when you're performing and you're singing, or more so when you're drumming and so on, and real active, it didn't seem like this guy is in a lot of colors.
Yeah.
You just look, it's just an extension of I guess your energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah boy. And the shoes.
Yeah.
You had a phase of you had many phases, but you had a phase of what was that? Boxing. That
boxing
was
boots.
Boxing boots.
Yes, man. I was wearing boxing boots for a while, because I see one in Lonsdale when I was in London. I was like, nah, these are cool. So I kept on buying them back, So
you had the confidence to see a pair of boxing boots.
Well, you know what? Those are pressure on the road, when you're like on the street. And I actually wear a pair of boxing boots, two carnivals, in fact. And
what, on the road?
Yeah, because that's made for boxing rings, right?
So yeah, which bounce and
So yeah,
which are not
the road
solid
don't really bounce
se.
back. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a little more age now. I don't think I could wear the boxing boots on the road, but yeah, they're cool. So this is it. I might find something and like artistically get a little bit fixated on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're a bit of a sneakerhead, I think as well.
I need to get some new ones. So not at the moment.
Remember, donate 68.
Hey.
Help us out. So so the fashion sense you had, blue hair.
Yes, boy.
Blonde hair.
Yeah.
Green hair?
Maybe for a moment.
It was kind of it was kind of greenish.
You're well known, DC boy. Wow, you're going back in the phases. But this is it. Like I'll use those things as kind of inspiration for the vibe.
And
of what
dive in though.
Yeah, go fully in. It's like not fully method acting, right? But you use it like, okay, I don't believe in any way or any fashion that there's a lack of inspiration. And some people are like, oh, I don't know what to make, or I don't know. Man, it's like there's so much, just colors and smells, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I will wear that stuff kind of with pride, you know what I mean? Like on my sleeve. And then, go with it and then find, there was a whole blue vibe. There was a blue,
you had a serious blue face, brother. A serious blue face. Let me tell you. The hair, the everything, the accents in the clothes.
I feel bad for my friends who are staying by during that tour, because like the bathtubs, the dye was good, but at some point, the bathtubs are a little bit blue in hue.
Yeah, well.
Such
is the price for the creative spirit, right? So the sense of fashion was something I wanted to talk about. The next thing is referring to my notes here. Right, culinary gifted. Where your love for cooking come from? Where the gift come from? Where the hand come from, Keshav?
As a boy, I would always be in the kitchen when my mom was in the kitchen. But we also were very fortunate to have staff when we were posted abroad.
As you would.
Not home. So there were some amazing cooks. So meaning like when we were outside of Trinidad.
Right.
Of course, when you're, when my dad is the ambassador or the high commissioner, you have, the cook that either comes from Trinidad and Tobago or from another country. And my mom would she's very smart about picking the right person who can also make Trinbagonian dishes, because they have to entertain for, representing the country. And
fair enough, yeah.
Right? But yeah, that and my tanties from Faizabad, my dad's sisters, right, all had like a killer hand, bro. And some of them could play drum and thing, in the Lawa and thing, my auntie Buddy and auntie Brenda would play drum and sing, and my auntie Buddy is a legend when it comes to maintaining the oral tradition in Indo-Caribbean, Indo-Trinidadian culture.
Right.
But sweet hand, like they could real cook, bro. And I was watching that and that's one side of it. And my mom, who's from India, having grown up in a quite different culture and type of household and than my dad, there's that dichotomy and like very sort of like the delicate flavors, and she's doing things in a kind of like
because
way.
you have a real intimate understanding of the herbs and spices. Just watching
it. Like, that stuff is a joy to me to like learn about now. So I'm constantly like watching, besides if it's not like the old school history about generals and like whatever it is and human migration. I'm watching, food.
Right.
Because this is like sports and like music. I mean, this is so almost passé to say, but it's like that other universal language, right?
Right.
So for me, yeah, and it's a palate cleanser. I get to do that, and when I do that, it is a good escape where I don't.
So you're not so music isn't or anything that was clouding your mind is present when you're cooking.
But the music always there. It's
okay.
constant, but. Yeah, when I'm cooking, it's a good escape because also I love to watch films, as all of us do. But that's another thing that I'll kind of go into a willingful escape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what the food thing is. So, whereas it's interesting, man. When I used to go on tour, Sam would always do the cooking when I lived with Sam because he'd have a real best hand too. Sam could a real cook. And I started just letting him cook right through. And
Samwise have it like that?
Samwise got it. But he never knew I could cook for like 5-6 years or however long, maybe even longer, because I would never cook. And
Emmanuel Masoda.
Yeah, but now I decide to show everybody I could cook. And when we have limes by me, and I like to cook a little pilau.
So the thing I missed out on was the last invention was what biryani lao.
Yes, indeed.
Explain that for me, please.
Yeah, we had a little small lime at home the other day. And, well, this is it. I get the chance to do that stuff. You know what I mean? Because if I have these things in my house, in my household, and my mom is in North Indian, you know what I mean? They have them spices. So, I might as well mix the both sides, A hand curry with the
right.
side.
So give me the actual composition of this thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? Chief, there's a hack. And I'll give you that hack right now. Chief actually makes a biryani masala. And when they put that on the market, I was like, nah, this is a go-to hack for me because I like to make Northern Indian food, but the biryani masala has some of the key spices and herbs that make up the North Indian palette for certain things, especially like tandoori chicken and biryani. So I using that, big up Chief, you know what I mean? Like this is not a paid advertisement in any way, but y'all could call me. But yes, they have this biryani masala. So I use some of that.
Right.
Kashmiri red chili powder, which gives a real beautiful redness. Then regular pilau method, Obviously, I do any browning, anything, make sure it's the right time, and I put in protein, so I did the chicken, but also the other day I did it with mushrooms because, of course, we have friends that are
vegetarian and vegan. Yeah,
and vegan. So so it's almost like a curry stew, but biryani and the stew is a next level.
Yo, but the texture is pilau texture.
It's straight pilau.
You putting peas in it?
Yeah, everything, pigeon peas, everything.
Listen, man.
Yeah. But I don't use golden ray. I don't agree with golden ray anymore because it's just not so good for the system. So I might use like a little French butter. You get French butter easily in the grocery here.
Papa, of course you use the French butter.
You know what I mean?
Right. So we talk about the food, and you have this knack of mixing different things, and you've seen soca music, calypso music, as it is presented and received around the world. We could safely say around the world,
bit by bit,
Yeah.
getting around.
Okay, so how has that changed much? I know you all through just now and your productions would have introduced a change with the sonic landscape of it. But what other changes are you seeing, and how is the international audience reacting to soca music from when you were introduced to now?
This is it. So I made it my mission to add brass and authentic Trinbagonian percussion back in to the thing, because what we were doing in production in the early 2000s and 2010s and stuff was utilizing sample sounds and keyboard tones and stuff like that from other movements and other countries and other cultures. So like Logic had an Africa kit and a Brazil kit, and like you're hearing that in all of the soca music.
Right.
Like, some big rhythms, you know what I mean? You're using like, agogos instead of iron and them kind of thing. And you don't know the thing, you know what I mean? Pan logo instead of a Trinidadian conga, like the way we tune it. And, these kind of staples in the Trinbagonian rhythm section. So that was a mission. So I made the Laventille rhythm section sample library with indigenous sounds.
Right.
And which then was intended to help change the sound of soca back into our own, right? Which was going on before when men was playing things live, right? So then that goes to the fingertips of all the soca producers. So to fast forward now, decade after that, it's in every soca song,
right?
That was one of the main things. So that's one of the main changes we tried to affect, and I've seen it. And then brass, having the chance to sit down with Leston Paul and work on some records early on in Just Now's life, I got kind of bit by that bug, and we love brass.
If you get the crash course from Lesson.
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. He's doing it in this virtuoso way where he's doing a notation, like writing it on a piece of paper. Like,
them fellas from D school.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. And so that. And then, adapted into my sort of way. I'm playing it first, and then, I realized you have to have it translated to a player.
Right.
Because if you're getting uppercut brass, big up uppercut brass every time, Brendan and them, to come and play the brass, it has to be...
You had to get them the sheets.
Also, and it also has to be in the right octave and that kind of thing, which I also learned from making music with Bugsy, because the bass can't be the wrong thing because it has to translate into panorama.
Correct.
And the 6 bass can't play certain octaves. Yeah. And so just real crash course lessons. But yes, brass,
from the masters,
we bring back brass into the soca in a big way. Big bad soca, stink behavior, truck on the road, bringing brass back in the thing now. Those are things that we were involved in changing. But what I really have noticed with soca music is that even though we just dance home first to make sure that we like it as a people. Yeah. And then Caribbean by extension. No matter what island it is. I'm talking about soca as a whole now.
Yeah.
Islands. Yeah. Then go abroad and
loosely when we say local, we mean
I mean the region.
The region. When
it comes to soca,
especially when we talking about the music.
That's it. Even though soca comes from here, but as a leader of soca, we ascribe to the what I mean to say is the mix sound of soca music has become just so much better. And I'm so proud to see that. And also the fact that we do topics, concepts in soca music that are beyond just Monday and Tuesday. Most artists hold space for a little bit of an international song each. You know what I mean? Songs like I Was and Family and all of these other voice, Far From Finished,
right?
And so many of Kes's songs of late and of recent years, a lot of Patrice's music, Splash, and these type of things. These records are a reflection of soca's conscious awareness that the world is now and listening again. You know what I mean?
That is something I wanted you to clue into, because I wanted you to say it, not me. Because
international.
Yeah, we have to. If we going out there and we want it to be on the map, and we want this elusive soca Grammy,
among other things,
the recognition and the success and the and all of that.
Yeah.
We have to realize that you're not only speaking to your people. You have to, as best as you could, make it palatable, and you could put the pepper in the pot, but you don't have to bust the pepper every time.
You know what I really admire about the Jamaican music industry and Jamaican people and the way that they push their music out to the world and how they own it and are confident about it is the fact that they are confident about it and they're out there and they're saying it with their chest. And I think if that would go a long way, because as Trinbagonians, which is the mecca and the home of soca music and the originator, we let's be like, man, all right, cool. Somebody make a soca sounding song. Yeah, check that. That's been going all the way back to the disco era, which is founded basically on some soca grooves,
Right.
And we'll be quite happy with it. But, there is progress to be had from us being utilized in such a big way globally. So, more saying it with the chest, and I think that'll also go a long way, taking a page out of Jamaicans' books. Also, big love and heartfelt kind of sympathies going out to Jamaica, and all the love for them building back, man. Because it's
for sure that's devastating.
Devastating storm.
Right. So
how much time we have there?
We have a few minutes. So moving on. So we enter modern day soca, right? We covered you talking about doing things on tapes.
Yeah.
Cassette tapes.
Technology.
Not just that and highfalutin stuff. Cassette
tapes.
Right? Where was a karaoke machine and recording on mics and all kind of things.
Yeah. Just putting things together in by any means possible.
Right. And the difficulty and just the minutiae doing that. So we go on from that into CDs and digital and CDJs and all of that.
Mini disc, all kind of thing.
Mini disc, we could call all the formats. We'll be here until in the morning. But so we into this era now of
digital.
Wait, I can't say it out loud again.
Yeah.
I can't even wait. I can't say AI. Okay. Right. So we're talking about AI now.
Yeah.
And its involvement in production of most any art right now that we cannot ignore is here, is doing its thing.
Yeah.
What is your first thoughts on AI as an implement, as a tool, and your thoughts for how it could be used in the future?
Yeah, well, that's an interesting question, and something that's ever present and in my mind often because of the rampant use of it within the arts. And it is a great assisting tool. I think it's a great tool for assistance in so many ways. I mean, I'm going to just jump out of the music for a second and, languages have been decoded with the help of AI. Medical advancements have happened in some really poignant ways that, have helped us see the steps forward in certain ways.
All right.
It can even help us see the steps way forward in certain things with regards to music and optimization. But I think it's just an optimization assistant. And it comes without the inherent struggle that a person has to arrive at a choice, which is just inherently the humanity of art. And if it's trained as well, this is a whole other thing, that all of AI is trained on existing intellectual property.
Right.
That
things that humans have already done.
Of course, this is it. It's not like it's coming up with anything new. Some people have already operated in a sense where they're like, there's nothing new under the sun. But what you make and the thing that comes through your vessel and you and comes out of you is something that's incredibly unique and not like anything else. But the AI is like everybody else. And so, whereas I'll jump back into my personal experience with it and being able to do things like extract files or stems or separate instruments, for those who don't know what stems are, in a music production from a record that was recorded in the 1950s or 60s or 70s, sometimes poorly, maybe on one microphone, that you can still separate instruments from that, and things like that are just absolutely mind-blowing and very helpful.
Right.
And I've actually done records in recent years where I've been able to separate a brass line and a flute line or whatever it is from an old soca record, and do it with the family of the people or the artist itself that did the song.
Right.
And that is, to me, a respectful way to utilize AI in a way that pays respect to where its origin.
This is in the interest of sampling or
interest of sampling or working on a record or a redo or a rehash or something.
Right. Okay.
And it'll work with the estate of the family if the artist is deceased, or with them themselves. So I've had to. And I've been able to do it like that. And stem separation for production technology, it's been incredible. But I firmly believe that whoever's using the AI in ways to allow it to be the basis for their creativity, just has to be real with themselves and realize that they're really not creating much more than an instruction, because that's what a prompt is.
Right.
It's a prompt.
It's a prompt.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So for me, that's what it boils down to. Yes, there are skillful prompt writers. And if you're going to write a prompt, you better damn well know how to do it properly, because it can be useful to help you with a piece of an artwork or something, you know?
Right.
Or like a piece of, like, I haven't used it to the fullest, and there's just so much new AI capabilities happening all the time.
Listen, it's exponential. Every day there's a new thing.
Absolutely.
There's a
Synth
new thing you
GPT,
could do. And
for all the musicians and music producers out there, Synth GPT is another thing. I haven't used it yet, where you can...
Synth
GPT, bro. That made by Fader, FADR, which is a thing that I subscribe to, where I'm able to separate stems in a really cool way. But you can ask it to generate a sound or a tone like that, and you're using it like, you know, MIDI. And, you know, if you want to make like a brass tone that's mixed with a flute and sounds like it's from the 80s, or you could do that easily. So those things are useful. But what I had a conversation with an advertising executive the other day, and you know, we were discussing it, and he's a real creative advertising executive and doesn't rely on the AI, where many do now, because they can just not have to hire people. They can just go boop and do the whole thing.
I wonder if you could do that.
Go ahead. Right? The assist factor. But real creatives will always value creativity. And you know what? Whereas I was like, wait, what's going to happen here? Because a lot of my work is in the advertising field, besides my soca music and dance music and just now and Keshav stuff.
Yeah, boy, I didn't even ask you about the jingles.
Well, that stuff, though, that is a big part of what I do. So I was like, well, what's going to happen? But I'm going. I'm still going. I was working on one today.
Right.
And somebody in the agency did send me something that was somewhat derived from AI. But I was like, all right, I'll pick out the cool thing of that, and then I'll boom.
Right.
I'll write the different lyrics.
You use it as a launch pad.
As a launch pad of one key element. Okay, if I'm a project manager, okay, all right, you AI robot over there. Cool.
Yeah.
What you got? What you got for human? What thing?
Yeah.
What do I got? And then I'll bring it all together. So it's an inevitable character in the room.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, I must just keep it that way.
Right.
Because I'm not going to let that replace me. Can't. You know what I mean?
But that's something. I didn't write it down. That's why I didn't remember. The jingles and advertising. That's something that keeps the wheels turning for a lot of music producers. And people in the creative space. So give us a little idea of jingles that we may not, or campaigns that you've been involved in that we may not know, because you don't see the credits for those except
not
if
often,
you go to the award shows and
it, right?
You know, and it's theirs, right?
Names off of it unless you promote it on social media. But we did for the iPhone 13.
Wait, stop.
So
the what?
Apple iPhone 13.
The Apple iPhone?
Yes. The Apple iPhone 13 announcement by Tim Cook, the ad, and then the subsequent announcement ad for the Apple iPhone 13 was just now.
So time out, Solia. Time out. I ask you, I talking to you about advertising, right? And I ask you about jingles.
Yeah.
I expecting, so and so ice cream, so and so thing cake, or something like a car rental company. Come on,
it had them as well.
A fried chicken or something. You start with Apple iPhone 13.
Yeah, and the beat was a ring dong Trinidadian drums, bro. It was
what is going on?
Yeah, crazy. And so, but that's just a part of traversing the music industry as well, right? And us having a sync agent that was wanted to, it was like, what do you got? Like, I'm going to pitch this to this and this and this. And so, that's one. So Apple iPhone 13 announcement commercial when it was first ever announced. And what else? England FA Nike campaign for not this last World Cup, but the World Cup before it. had like Harry Kane and all the people in the commercial. They were doing like their warm up to the World Cup. Tuborg beer, which is like a big European beer brand. Lots of Angostura stuff. KFC.
We finally reached.
We reached Carib, KFC, Angostura. Right. Them ones there, you know. Lots of different stuff in between. I think it's important that we maintain an identity of what we are here in our own advertising sound, because I'm just going to say it, plain talk, bad manners. Clients like to work with what worked before.
Right.
And
nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. But you could straddle a line of being corny or soggy. You know what I mean? Because something will sound like it's in the 90s or 80s or 2010s and we're in 2025. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
So unless it's intentionally meant to be like that. So I just hope we get more and more.
Yeah, but I mean, the question is what you're actually working with, or what you're emulating. You're emulating the feel or the exact formula of the thing that worked before. If you're just mimicking or doing what worked before, how it sound like, how it played, the colors, everything, then you really don't understand what made it work.
Well, I love it. The same way I would like to see Salt Prune and like Beneball and Snow Cones in Movie Town and like in the movie theaters as a like a whole section.
Right.
I like to hear the local elements in, and not just the local, because local could be a bad word. Our sound.
Listen,
in the advertising
we have
world.
some classics. If I do say so myself.
This is it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Because back in the days, Calypsonians used to be doing Calypsonians used to be doing the ads.
The Sparrow one from the restaurant in New York, and there's so much incredible ones. And there's a good few. Big up Matix, you know what I mean? O.U.R's boss for also doing some really great advertising work.
Jingle boss.
I'm saying. So there's a good few doing it, but I want to push that. If you're in the advertising world, just make it make sense. You know, we have a unique thing here. You know, you don't want to make it sound like it's some. Some middle of the road Midwestern type of, you know what I mean? So we can often tend to do, or just use some AI prompt and it's just like, you know?
Yeah. I wish I had an AI prompt to tell me that we run out of time.
Oh gosh.
We have a few minutes. We'll take a quick break to remind the people that we have no staff. So we need help. Right? So take a word from Donate 68. And we come back with Keshav and we'll talk about his latest creation. Hey. And we'll connect the dots with some things we spoke about before. So, see you soon.
Need to raise funds for your next creative project, event, or invention? Or maybe you or a family member are raising funds for much-needed medical treatment. Now, you can get started raising that much-needed cash via Donate68.com, the newest 100% homegrown crowdfunding platform in Trinidad and Tobago. Donate68.com accepts donations from all major credit cards, but not only that, for those without a credit card, you can use your everyday Visa debit card to make donations. So log on today and create a campaign for your next passion project, startup, or cause. Share your campaign with your community of family, friends, and supporters to get the financial backing you need. Donate68.com, funding your culture.
Yes, and welcome back. Welcome back to Inter-Outer National. We with a consummate Inter-Outer National here. Man, always back and forth. His upbringing, his career, his vibes are Inter-Outer National. Based, rooted in Trinidad and Tobago, and reaching out and making waves outside of here. You're flying the flag with pride. You're making us proud. I am proud of you. You're a good friend of mine. I'm glad I get this opportunity to tell you that everybody could see it.
Hey, my absolute pleasure and honor to be here. DZ. Let's call him DZ, you know.
Yeah, man. Like Xavi Alonso, aka the Taruba Tiger. Right. So I wouldn't want you to leave without plugging your latest project.
Yeah, man.
And another collaboration, another duo. You see how what I tell you about connecting the dots is another collaboration, another duo, and something that speaks to your love of classical music.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah,
tell us about Symphony.
That is it. Symphony is the brand new record with me and DJ Private Ryan. Ryan on production,
Papa.
Me on vocals. This is actually our third collaboration with me as the vocalist and him as the producer. I am involved in the production in the sense where he'll send me a beat and then I'm like, okay, how do I mold this to myself? And via the music itself, it's then molded to me.
Right.
And yeah, this one is no different than the previous two. We've worked on a lot of music together already. His earliest rhythms I was doing with him. I also worked on Feel the Love with him, with Freetown and stuff. But now with him producing for me, I'm like, bro, what you have for me? Send me a thing. And he just is pretty spot on is what he sends me.
Yeah.
In terms of
choosing it for you.
Yeah, the beats that he's sending me now. And he also given me room to do my thing. So I put in bass line and I'm doing Symphony.
Right. It's true collaboration then.
Absolutely. True collaboration. And Symphony speaks to my absolute love of classical music and not just, the typical type of Western classical, but I like all sorts of different classical music, and it's
Tchaikovsky. I could remember you was talking to me about Tchaikovsky.
Yeah. I had my period where I listened to a lot of Tchaikovsky, a lot of the Russians. But yes, man, my love for classical music is at the forefront of this particular record. But it's a play, it's a double entendre. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a Trini artist, so I am referring to the symphony that we are creating. You know what I mean? With me and my love interest and who I'm talking to in the song.
Nice.
Yeah,
you always had a thing for the writing when you started writing, like in earnest with the metaphors.
This is it.
That's your thing, right?
It's Kaiso, bro. It's Kaiso. You know what
exactly.
I mean? So, Symphony's out right now. It's on Battalion Music, which is Ryan's label, and Monk Music, and that's the first of a few Keshav vocal records for the carnival.
So you're not just pounding them out for clients.
Nah, yeah. How about a few more of mine coming out as well, and a couple of really cool collaborations with other vocalists. But other than that, I'm back in my day job and working on Plenty Soca, and there's a few rolling out. So, tis the season, bro. You know.
Yeah. Like I say, I know it's crunch time for you.
But it's okay. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing to be a part of. Whereas like you could be anxious about it. It's just like I'm trying to make sure I pick the right projects, but also, as a Trinbagonian musician, artist, producer, writer, whatever, you have to feel the energy. You have to feel the energy in the air.
It's a feeling, it's a vibration.
Exactly. And there's plenty of energy in the air.
Yeah, that's a classic line.
This is it, right? So, yeah, man. Lots of music happening, but it's been my absolute pleasure to be here on our radio, talking to you, my bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I appreciate that.
And seeing you bringing this idea to fruition, because I've heard bits and pieces about the concept.
Yeah, we was talking about it for years, and if we waiting on the right thing and the right time and the
now is the time.
We would have never done it, right? So here we are.
Now thing right now.
Here we are right now. Right, so yeah, give thanks for that. Give thanks for being the first artist. Now, there's another thing. This show and our interaction is going to be in two parts, right? Okay. So you have. We didn't plan to have the first guest in studio for the first episode.
Okay.
Right? So we're going to have an interview and we're going to do the outer view.
Is it.
So when next you travel, when next you're on the road, when you're doing something, you're out to a festival or doing like the other day. All right, so the other day you were in UK. Japan
and New York,
and New York.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
You understand? So, like I said, if we keep waiting and waiting and waiting,
that's coming again. So I'll keep that in mind, and I will do the outer.
Right, nah. We'll follow you for the outer national leg. Yeah. So I think we could take a piece of Symphony as we cut out, but officially, thank you. Thank you for being
Big respect, Valdez.
Thank you for being the first guest. Thank you for setting us off right.
My pleasure.
I'm glad we get to get your story from then to now, man.
Thank you, bro, for giving me the opportunity. And I have to say that this is a brilliant concept, and I'm a massive supporter of what O.U.R. or our radio does because of the love of local and Trinbagonian music and talent. It's just music amazing to see, and that there is an entity that does this because it's sorely needed, and you're all doing it in a great way. So big up.
Yeah, that Trinisaki hitting me.
Hey.
We had to deal with that. So with that said, thank you very much for tuning in to Inter Outer National. Hope to see you next week. Remember, Donate 68 is here for us and here for you to help us keep these lights on and keep the good content coming. So thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers.
See you next week. Inter Outer National.
Outside.
Yeah, but
Very nice.
it's serious.
Yes, I
think we're still live.
Are we still live, yeah? Well, this Trini Sake, I could definitely
Yeah,
be
Trini Saki is a...
No skylarking, bacchanal walking, tantalizing ways, yeah. Oh my gosh, bringing me closer, calling, give me a flavor, so let the vibe bubble and start to grow. My composition, minor to major, love your rendition.
Need to raise funds for your next creative project, event, or invention? Or maybe you or a family member are raising funds for much-needed medical treatment. Now, you can get started raising that much-needed cash via Donate68.com, the newest 100% homegrown crowdfunding platform in Trinidad and Tobago. Donate68.com accepts donations from all major credit cards, but not only that, for those without a credit card, you can use your everyday Visa debit card to make donations. So log on today and create a campaign for your next passion project, startup, or cause. Share your campaign with your community of family, friends, and supporters to get the financial backing you need. Donate68.com, funding your culture.